How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, this is a story on the BBC News website. It came out the other day. And it's about prison assaults in England and Wales, again, reaching record highs. Now, let's get into it. BBC News website, link in the description below, like you always do. Headline reads, prison assaults in England and Wales at record high. The number of assaults in prison in England and Wales has reached a record high. There were 33,803 attacks by prisoners in the year to the end of September of 2018, 20% up on the previous year. The figures include a record 10,085 assaults on prison staff, up 29%. There were 92 self-inflicted deaths in 2018, up from 72 in 2017. God bless anyone that's lost somebody in them circumstances where they've tragically taken their own life. That means that 92 prisoners up to the end of September 2018, in the 12 months, tragically taken their own life. 92 men and women as well. Like I say, God bless anyone that's lost anyone in them circumstances. My thoughts and prayers are still with you all. The charity Prison Reform Trust described the figures as disturbing. Of the total number of assaults, 3,949, or a 12% rise, were serious, were up 6% from the previous year. The figures published by the Ministry of Justice also revealed there were 325 deaths in prison custody in the 12 months until December 2018, up 10%. So that concludes self-harm, natural causes, things like that, guys. 20,138 prisoner-on-prisoner assaults in the 12 months to September 2018, up 18% on the year before. There was 4 murders in prisons in England and Wales last year. Many prisons in England and Wales have seen surging levels of violence, drug use and self-harm in recent years. The government says it's spending, here we go, oh, boring, here we go. The government says it's spending an extra 70 million, including 4,000 extra staff, to help boost security in prisons. Ministers plan to roll out synthetic pepper spray known as Parva to staff in publicly run prisons for men this year following trials that didn't work, by the way, and violence continued to increase. The Ministry of Justice also announced traditional prison bar windows are to be replaced with toughened glass and air vents in new prisons to help prevent drugs being smuggled in. Justice Secretary David Gauke said he was optimistic the new measures could reduce violence. He said there is clearly a huge amount yet to be done, but I'm determined to cut the violence so prisoners can focus on rehabilitating the offenders who will be back out at some point, making a volatile situation even worse. Mark Day, the head of policy at the Prison Reform Trust, said government plans were not working and one Parva spray could make a volatile situation even worse. The measures the government have put in place to improve prison safety, including prison staff numbers and the rollout of a new key worker model, that have not yet succeeded in reversing the rising trend. Prison Staff Union, the Prison Officers Association, was shocking and showed no progress that had been made. Prisons Minister Rory Stewart had promised to resign if there isn't a reduction in violence in 10 of the worst affected jails by this summer. Mr Stewart made his pledge in August last year when a programme of investment began in those jails to provide them with extra staff, scanning equipment and training. A BBC analysis of the assaults data shows a huge scale of Mr Stewart's mission and some very early tentative signs that it may be working. In the 12 months to the end of September 2017, there were 3,444 assaults in the 10 prisons. In the following 12 months, there was 4,336 assaults, an increase of 27%, which was above the average rise across all of the prisons estate of 20%. The largest increases were at HMP Lindholme, South Yorkshire, where assaults had almost doubled from 244 to 577. ISIS Prison, wrong name for a prison, that, innit? At South East London, which went up by more than 2/3. HMP Humber recorded a 60% rise. Assaults fell in only one of the 10 prisons, that was Wormwood Scrubs in West London. However, comparing the first 2 months of the 10 prisons project, August and September 2018, with the previous 2 months, there are some more positive signs. There were 800 assaults in the 10 prisons in June and July of 2018. That fell to 768 in August and September. A 4% reduction. 7 of the 10 prisons recorded a drop in assaults. It's far too early to draw firm conclusions from the data, but it does give Mr Stewart some grounds for optimism that his job may be safe, though there is a long way to go. The 10 prisons are Hull, Humber, Isis, Leeds, Lindholm, Moreland, Nottingham, Ranby, Wealdstone and Scrubs, or Wormwood Scrubs. Now guys, like I say, prison violence within prisons and stuff is a massive problem. Now, what you need to look at is the Prison Officers Association, right? They've actually contributed to record levels of violence, and you're going to think, how does that work? Well, how it works is the fact that they lobbied for the smoking ban, even going as far as threatening a judicial review, right, to bring it in faster, right? Now, that has increased violence in prisons twofold, and I'll tell you for why. So firstly, by banning contraband, you're agitating prisoners, you're poking a sleeping dog with a stick, and it annoys me because prisoners use tobacco, or like have used tobacco for centuries and decades as a coping mechanism. If you are stressed, you will smoke and smoke more than if you are not stressed, right? By taking the tobacco away from prisoners, you are poking a sleeping dog, and when that sleeping dog barks, the prison officers go, oh look, violent prisoners, right? Pisses me off, right? Also, by banning contraband, by banning tobacco, sorry, it doesn't disappear off the face of the earth. You don't just go and it just disappears. All it simply does, it gets pushed underground. By going underground, what happens? Well, the price goes up X amount. If there's loads of it on the wing, it might go up, it might creep up. If there's none of it on the wing and you're the only person selling it, it can go up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times what it does on the street or what it did previously on the canteen. So where there's contraband, you've got debt. Where you've got debt, you've got fear, intimidation, bullying, and yes, you guessed it, violence. Mental health services are also inadequate within prisons. That led to 92 prisoners tragically and sadly leaving prison in a body bag through self-inflicted deaths or self-harm. Not self-harm, suicide. 325 deaths were natural causes and suicide mixed together. Drug overdoses and such. 325 prisoners, guys. 92 of them were men and women, right? Were suicides, guys. 92. Just put that into perspective, and the knock-on effect for them prisoners' families. You know what I mean? God bless them all. My thoughts and prayers with absolutely every single one of them. I covered several deaths last year that are tragically taking their own life in prison, and my heart goes out to anyone that's lost someone in that way. Massively so, massively so. But like I say, guys, when you're housing and overcrowding prisons with mentally vulnerable, aggressive, violent natured people, and then you house them with the conditions and the treatment they're given, right? Every prisoner has got his breaking point and will lash out at some point. And like I say, prison officers, not all of them, there are some good prison officers in the system, we know that, but there's those prison officers as well that like to agitate, aggravate and wind up prisoners. Sometimes a prison officer will twist the prisoner up in a situation, go over the top. The prisoner will remember the prison officer that's done it, and then target that officer. For every action, there is a reaction. It's as simple as that. But yeah, guys, like I say, when you're housing people, mentally ill prisoners, and human warehousing them, some of these people, some of the most violent and susceptible, vulnerable people in society, you throw them in jail, you treat them like animals, they become feral, and then people are surprised when they kick off and lash out. I'm not. Doesn't surprise me. And they're going to build more prisons, guys. 4 more prisons are coming. One next to Full Sutton in York. One, I think it's in Hindley, down near Hindley Prison. There's one that's earmarked for South Wales. And there's also one earmarked for London somewhere. I can't remember. Rochester in Kent, I think. More prisoners, more problems, more death, misery, self-harm and despair. More violence. These people haven't got a clue, guys. These people in charge of Magistrates Prison and Probation Services and in charge of the Ministry of Justice are residing over people that they can't relate to. They don't care. And until they do care and get with a programme and reduce prison population, improve mental health services and healthcare in general, people that should be in prison aren't in prison, and people that should be in prison aren't in prison. I've been in prison with people that haven't paid council tax or parking fines, and then I'm seeing in courts where paedophiles are caught with 1,000 images of indecent images of children, and they're getting suspended sentence. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Gonna leave it there, guys. Doesn't surprise me this in any which way. If you've got a loved one in prison, it must be if you've got a loved one in prison, it might be the biggest, handiest guy ever, but you're still going to worry about his safety in prison because prisons are lawless and stuff. And like I say, violence is never far away. Prisoners fashion weapons out of out of weapons. Some people carry weapons because of paranoia and mental health issues. Some people carry weapons because they've got an issue with somebody on the wing. And like I say, what blows from that and what flows from that is violence and stuff, stabbings, murders, self-harm, and obviously suicides. People become to a breaking point and stuff. And what prison does, it psychologically and emotionally and physically takes its toll on you, massively so. And then you've got the silent victims, that of the prisoner's family, that are riding that roller coaster with you. There, when you're up, yeah, they're up. When you're up, when you're up, they're up. When you're down, they're down. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, guys, what's going on within prison. It's becoming it's becoming a survival thing where you're lucky to escape. No one leaves prison unscathed, whether that be psychologically, emotionally scarred, physically scarred, whatever the case may be. 3 ways you can leave prison, guys: through the door, released; over the wall, escape happens every blue moon; or in a body bag, guys. And unfortunately, 325 people, prisoners, left prison last year in body bags. God bless them. Every year that we're going to continue to see this trend, guys, we're going to see record levels of violence, self-harm, and I think we're going to end up seeing record levels of suicide very, very shortly. The system's as broken as those entering it, guys. Nothing more to say. Leave it there. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.